Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started and close out the poll. So I want to welcome you. I am Andrew Johnson with CSH, and welcome to the kickoff webinar for the One Roof Keeping Families Together Training Academy. I coordinate our One Roof efforts at CSH and help with some of our child welfare and supportive housing resource center work, and I'm joined today by my colleague Tim Ng, who works with our CSH Training Center. We would like to welcome you to the One Roof Keeping Families Together Training Academy and are so excited to kick off this round of the training. You are a part of the second group of jurisdictions from across the nation to be accepted into this training academy. And if you look at the poll results that we'll be showing, or that show on your screen, you can see that there are folks representing a number of different types of agencies on your teams that will be able to engage in critical discussions regarding next steps in your community. So before we go further, I wanted to mention a couple of things. We are recording today's webinar, and we'll be making this available for members of your team that may not have been able to join, or if you need to go back in as a reminder. I'm also going to pause for just one moment. I think there are a couple of folks having some technical difficulties and just need to send one quick message. So I'm just going to pause for one moment. So for those of you who may not be familiar with CSH, we are a national nonprofit, and our mission is to advance housing solutions that improve the lives, maximize resources, and strengthen communities. We have multiple regional and state offices that mostly work both locally and regionally across the U.S., and we also have several national teams that work across the nation on improving the lives of some of the most vulnerable populations. We really work on promoting new ideas and best practices. We're a collaborative and pragmatic community partner and an influential advocate for supportive housing, and we've been engaged as a leader in the supportive housing movement for over 26 years. This program is being offered through CSH's Supportive Housing Training Center with content development provided by CSH's Child Welfare and Supportive Housing Resource Center. The Supportive Housing Training Center that CSH operates offers practical, interactive training solutions that empower people to learn about, build, and provide high-quality supportive housing in their communities. And there are many more training opportunities that we offer through our training center than just the training academy that you are participating in. The One Roof Keeping Families Together Training Academy was first launched in October 2016 in conjunction with the launch of One Roof. And for those who aren't familiar, we arrived at the One Roof work. We were able to participate in some data-driven housing needs assessment, and CSH and partners estimate that there is a need for approximately 50,000 units of supportive housing for families with the highest needs. Really those experiencing homelessness or housing instability coupled with child welfare involvement and other challenges. And through One Roof, we're using collective impact principles to partner with organizations across the country to strengthen collaboration between child welfare, housing, and homeless systems at all levels, to expand access and availability of housing resources for families, and working to ensure that the necessary resources and policies are in place to sustain the work. And you can certainly find more information about One Roof if you're not already familiar. We invite you to join us as this movement continues to grow, if you have not already done so, and you can visit onerooffamilies.org to join us and ensure that you're in the know about the opportunities, tools, and resources as we continue to move this work forward. You'll be learning more about some of those through the training academy that you're now a part of. So with that, I really want to welcome all of you to the second cohort of the Keeping Families Together Training Academy. We're very excited to offer this academy to all of you. The academy is designed to assist your communities and others that are interested in creating housing and child welfare partnerships that develop housing solutions for families at the intersection of homelessness and child welfare involvement. Each team is a little different, representing the uniqueness of jurisdictions all across our nation. And there are 18 teams in this particular cohort, as indicated on the map on your screen. We have, I'm going to kind of just run through each of the teams. We don't have time for personal introductions, but we will be engaging with each of you in more detail on the subsequent peer learning calls. But we have, starting from west to east, I'm going to kind of run through. We have King and Snohomish counties in Washington state. We have several counties that have grouped together in the very northwest corner of the state of Oregon. We have Solano County in California, Sacramento County in California, and then we have La Plata and Montezuma counties in southwest Colorado. We have the state of Oklahoma. We have the greater Kansas City area. We have the state of Minnesota, led by the state, several state offices and several counties, but we also have a couple of additional targeted teams from both Dakota County, Minnesota and St. Louis County, Minnesota. In Illinois, we have a team from Lake County and a team from Cook County. In Indiana, we have Bartholomew County, Wayne County in Michigan. In Ohio, we have a team that is in Cuyahoga County and another team in Summit County. We also have a team in the Washington, D.C. area, which includes a couple of counties in Maryland, Montgomery County and Prince George's County, and we also have a team that is a part of that from Virginia. So there's a joint team there, and then we also have Highlands County, Florida. So as you can see, we have representation kind of spanning all across our country, and each one of the teams and the states have some unique aspects, unique needs, but I also think there'll be some common threads, and so we really look forward to opportunities on the peer learning calls for you all to be able to connect with one another as well and kind of share what you're thinking and what you're learning and engage in discussions together that will hopefully advance our work as we move forward. So really, the Academy is built to be a team-based online training program that consists of self-paced learning, recordings, live peer learning sessions, and virtual sessions. And we are intending this to support your collaborative efforts to serve families experiencing both a housing crisis and child welfare involvement. And we really hope that you will better understand the benefits and core components of what it means to implement a Keeping Families Together program, which you'll be learning about. You'll learn about tools and resources. You'll learn how to work with us, excuse me, on a formal readiness assessment process, and hopefully take the next steps towards formalizing a Keeping Families Together program. The schedule and timeline, as you saw in your materials, I just want to quickly go over what to expect. Of course, today is the kickoff webinar. As I mentioned, we'll be making this available via recording. And then by later today, we'll be sending an email that has a special registration link that will allow you to begin accessing the virtual online sessions, and Tim will be walking you through that process momentarily. Then as you move through these virtual sessions, there'll be a number of sessions that you'll have access to, and they're broken down into chunks, typically somewhere between 7 and 25 minutes each. And I think in total, you're looking at probably a little over 4 hours of total content of these virtual sessions, but they're broken out so you can kind of fit them in as you're able to over the next month or so. And so partway through that process, we hope you'll have at least had a chance to complete a good portion of the content. We're going to pause for a live peer learning call and webinar on July 25th to really start allowing for questions and kind of discussions amongst your teams. And then, of course, you will all finish up by August 15th, and then we will have another peer learning call. We'll have another opportunity to connect, and we will also be going over next steps, the readiness assessment process, kind of what to expect there. And then we ask that your teams meet after the 15th to complete this community readiness assessment and submit that to us by September 1st. And then we'll be setting up a specific call with your team during the month of September to talk through your readiness assessment and really our recommendations and thoughts about kind of next steps and where you all are at, and have some discussions about what you all are thinking, and hopefully support you in moving forward towards action. And just a couple of tips that you may want to consider as you move through the Academy. We certainly encourage that whenever possible that your team members actually meet as a team throughout your Training Academy participation. We heard from the folks that went through the Academy as a part of the first cohort that was beneficial when they were able to meet together at times so that they could discuss the learning. You may want to join together in a room for the peer learning calls, or you may want to have group time set up to move through some of the virtual sessions together. We also would recommend that you schedule time to complete your readiness assessment now. You know that you'll be getting that after August 15th, and it's due on September 1st, so you may want to get a meeting for your team on the books in late August to complete that together. And you also may want to just work on kind of blocking off some times in your calendar over the next month to complete different chunks of the virtual sessions. We also recommend that you record your questions, ideas, and aha moments along the way so you can bring those back to the group and peer learning calls. And then, of course, please contact us with any of your contact-related questions along the way. You can email us at oneroof@csh.org, and we will field those questions to the appropriate content experts to get back to you, or if you have any technical issues, let us know as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim, Tim is going to walk you through our training center and next steps.
Thanks, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Tim Ng, and I am an Associate Program Manager at CSH, and I work with our Training Center team. And today I'll be walking you guys through accessing the Academy curriculum and going through and taking those trainings that Andrew just talked about. So I'm going to post in the chat a link to the registration page for those of you guys who have not created an account yet. And if you want to, you can follow along with me as I go through the steps. And just give me 1 second to share my screen. And throughout my presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. There's a little button on the top right-hand side of your WebEx screen. Just click on chat and then type any questions to me. So once you go to that link that I posted in the chat box, you'll be taken to this registration screen. And I'm just going to fill out the information here. And once you finish that, just go and click on the login button. Just keep in mind that your email address will become your username. And this will take you to our Training Center welcome page. As you can see here, there are a few buttons in the middle of the screen. Each of these gives you access to different locations within the Training Center site. We have browse offerings where you can search through our training catalog. We have upcoming trainings, which is a calendar of our live instructor-led trainings, and the transcript, which is where the trainings that you register for and select are stored. So to access the Keeping Families Together Academy curriculum, just use the search box on the top right-hand side of the screen and just type in Keeping Families. It should be the first item that pops up. You'll know it's the right one when it has this stack of books next to it. Just click on the title, and then it'll take you to the curriculum page, and then hit Request. I have a question in the chat. Is each team member able to register, or is it by group? Yes, each team member is able to individually register, and you can all have your own accounts, and you can all progress through the trainings at your own pace. So this is the transcript, and as you can see, the Academy has been added to my transcript. And to begin, just click on this Open Curriculum button. You'll see it's broken out in different sections along the left-hand side here. Just start from the beginning. It also tracks your progress on the top left. And then simply hit the launch button for each training. As you can see, they're broken into different modules. You can take them at your own pace in any order. I'm going to launch one just so you guys can see what it looks like. The main troubleshooting question that we receive is when folks click on that Launch for Training button, this window that just opened here doesn't load. It just either stays as a white screen or nothing happens. And that's usually because your pop-up blockers are on. Just turn them off and disable them, and that should solve the problem. And you can find directions on how to do that in the Help Center tab along the top of the screen over here. So this first training is the overview. It's a self-paced training. You can just click through. There are different interactive bits, as you can see, and you can click on the different tabs and sections to learn about those specific topics. I'm going to close out of this. Whoops. We also attached various materials, including the slide deck for each of these trainings, and you can access that here within each of the modules. It's towards the bottom. You'll notice that it says Mark Complete here. You don't want to click on that. You just want to click on the title. That'll take you to this page where you can open the slides. And you can also access the links of resources that are talked about during each of the trainings. As Andrew mentioned, we're going to have a peer learning call towards the end of July 25th, and then also a wrap-up call in August. And you will access that also through this curriculum in the Training Center. You'll notice that those two calls are here. When you enter into your account, you notice that it says Select Session. Just be sure that you actually select the session and then hit the Request button in this pop-up window. And you know that you're all set to participate in those sessions when you see this launch button. And on the day of each of those sessions, just simply come back into your account, navigate over to the call, and hit launch, and it'll open up a WebEx just like this meeting is today. So that pretty much concludes how to access everything. I guess I'll pause for questions.
And as a reminder, if you can either type questions into the chat box, or you can unmute yourself by clicking on the red microphone mute button to the right of your name under participants, and clicking that, and that will unmute you as well.
Sure, I got a question. Can you show us again how to access the resources? Absolutely. So to do that, I'm going to start from the welcome page. And you'll navigate to your transcript, this button on the right-hand side, and then open the curriculum for the Keeping Families Together Training Academy. And on the left-hand side here, we've broken out each of the sections. If the section does have applicable materials, just click on that. And then you'll notice that on the bottom here, the icon is this file folder. You want to click on the title. And then here, where it says resources, there are two links that you can click, and that will open up each of the documents as a PDF, so you can print them or save them to your computer. Andrew will send out an email after this training that will include the link to that registration page and the instructions as well as how to access everything. I see one question. If a team has identified an additional member that should be participating, what is the process to get them added? Just simply send them the link, the registration link to this page that we're going to send you in an email after this webinar, and they'll be able to create their account and access the trainings. And if you already have a training center account, you can email training@csh.org. I'm going to put that in the chat, and just let us know that you have an account, and we'll add you on the back end of the system so you have access to the trainings.
And then I would just add that if you have someone that was not originally on the list that is a part of your team, if you could also email their contact information to oneroof@csh.org, just so that we're keeping a master list of who's a part of each team, that would be very helpful as well. But yes, they can get started with the link as Tim mentioned.
Hi, this is Christy at King County Housing Authority. I have a quick question.
Sure.
My question is, on the email that you're going to send out later today, Andrew, are you going to include the link to the recorded kickoff webinar so that we can send it to the folks that weren't able to participate today?
Yes, I will be including that link.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Well, again, we are very excited for you to be a part of this academy. We're here for you if you need anything. I accidentally typed the wrong email address the first time, but if you look in the chat box, you can see obviously the training at csh.org if you need to access Tim for any support on the actual system that you're using, the training center site. And then, of course, for any other questions about the Academy, you can contact us at oneroof@csh.org around the Academy itself or content, team members, those types of things, and we will be glad to support you along the way. But again, we look forward to hearing about your learning journey over this next month or two, and enjoy. And thank you so much for taking the time today to join the webinar.